Welcome to week one of Anatomy Physiology first quarter. I just wanted to go through the first week module here and provide a little bit of information about kind of what to focus on, maybe some sticky areas in the content, and how to be successful in week one. So week one's always a little bit nerve-wracking. It's your first maybe online course. It's for a lot of you, your first anatomy physiology course, and it's online. So I understand the stress. So hopefully at this point you've gone through the getting started module, you're ready to go. If you haven't gone through the getting started module, stop, close this video down, go back and do that before you ever dive into week one. All right. For the modules, okay, as you can see, I have it set up in a sequence of things I want you to do. Okay. This has you reading chapters in OpenStack's book right here, 1 and 3. 1's really the most important. 3 is kind of a review. Okay. The information down here will all be covered in chapter 1. 3 is a review to help you get ready for the course. Okay. Watch this video. Okay. I've put action verbs on here to tell you what to do. It's not a suggestion. It's not really optional. You should watch these videos. They are going to provide you with the information you need. These are short videos. You can pause them. You can take notes. You can listen to them while you're driving. In headphones, don't watch them. Although you might miss some things if you're, not watching them. But if you've watched it already, listening to them will still be productive. But make sure you take notes. Now, how do you take notes? Well, go to week 1 outline here. And week 1 outline is going to give you a list of the things you need to know. Now, I've embedded a Google Doc into Canvas here. If it doesn't work, click on the link down here at the bottom and that'll take you to the week 1 outline. Okay. But for the most part, it should open right up if you have a Google account. All right. Now, week 1 outline here. This one isn't super detailed, partly because there's not a ton of content in the course, but you could take notes online easily by turning this document into your own. You could write this on a piece of paper and literally as you're reading, go under regions, quadrants, and compartments, write out what those are, write out what are contained in them. What are the cavities? What's contained in those cavities? What organs are found there? Functions of human life, write those functions out. What do they mean? What do they do for us? When you get to homeostasis, homeostasis is really the most important component of this unit because the negative and positive feedback loops are what set the tone for the whole quarter in terms of understanding other physiological processes. Negative feedback and positive feedback you'll have assignments on. Make sure you know the terminology. Make sure you're able to identify what a processing center is, what a effector is, what the sensor or the stimulus is. Okay. Negative feedback it's not a bad thing. Like negative, we always think of as a bad thing. Negative feedback is not a bad thing. And what negative feedback refers to is when your body resets things to the norm. Just to be basic about it. So for example, if I had a fever and my body reset the temperature back to normal to bring my temperature back down, or if I got hot from exercising and my body wanted to bring the temperature back down, that's a negative feedback loop. Okay, in my hypothalamus in my brain controls that temperature that my body should be at. When we have a fever, a lot of times the hypothalamus actually resets that temperature, and that's why you get hot. It's hard to control it. Or viruses can actually cause your hypothalamus to reset that temperature. Positive feedback, on the other hand, is it's almost like something getting out of control. So giving birth is actually not the easiest, but the most common one used because as a uterus contracts, so the uterus is the muscle in the uterus contracts and pushes the baby out. The more your uterus contracts, the more your brain secretes a hormone that causes the uterus to contract. And so it's like this continual cascade of things until a baby is born. And that's a positive feedback loop. Okay, it's like an accelerant. It's like pouring more gasoline on the fire until you burn that structure down you want. And that's how your body works as well. So make sure you work through that week 1 outline and take notes, watch the videos, read the textbook. Now, if you have other resources you want or have to use, go ahead. Please feel free to. This actually, sorry, I'm going to move this one down. I meant to move that down earlier. This goes in this next unit. But as you work through this content, make sure you follow the instructions. Your first assignment will be the homeostasis feedback loops. After you complete that assignment, you don't submit it. This is probably new to most of you, but it's a great method for quick feedback and quick points on low stakes assignments. Now, all these assignments are super important as they lead up to your assessments, because I design the assessments directly off these assignments. So you'll complete that, and then you'll go to the self-evaluation quiz, and you'll complete that to get your feedback to see how you did on that assignment and if you got and the points you get. Now, make sure you have your assignment in front of you as you take the quiz so you can really sit down and compare it to the answer key. Now, sometimes these answer keys are former students, and I do that on purpose. They're really, really good work. They follow all the requirements, and they've met everything, and they're a perfect score. And the reason I do that is because sometimes when we provide teacher keys, it's sometimes the expectation is different from a student, versus I want you to see what other students have done to show you, one, it's doable, two, this is student work, and you're just as capable of doing this as they are, so that it's not the teacher's work. All right, so make sure you're looking at those answer keys, and if you have questions on them, sometimes I've added information to them, but please feel free to reach out and get help or ask questions on that. And then the last assignment here in this first week is the thermal homeostasis Labster simulation. So make sure you click on that and start all these assignments before the due date. So these dates on here are when they're due. You can do them earlier. They don't need to be turned in on the due date. You can turn them in earlier. Mostly every week I'll have something due on a Friday and something due on Sunday or Monday, so that you have earlier in the week to work on stuff. And so please feel free to schedule your week accordingly to get that work completed. All right. This is your first week. It's just on introducing you to the structure and organization of the human body and how your body maintains homeostasis. And then that will lead us into week 2 and week 3, which is the integumentary system. So after this week, you're going to dive into the skin and how does the skin function. And homeostasis and thermal homeostasis are a big part of that, which is why you're going to do those in week 1. And it'll lead us right into week 2 with the integumentary system. Okay, I'll have another video in each module to explain the assignments or unique activities that are found in those. So don't feel like you're missing anything now. Just focus on week 1. And when you're done with week 1, you can start diving into week 2. Take care, and I will see you in the discussion boards and in the chat room.